T'Challa, king of Wakanda, is dying from an illness which his sister, Shuri, believes can be cured by the heart-shaped herb. Shuri attempts to synthetically recreate the herb after it was destroyed by Eric Killmonger but fails to do so before T'Challa succumbs. 1 year later, Wakanda is under pressure from other nations to share their vibranium, with some parties attempting to steal it by force. Queen Ramonda implores Shuri to continue her research on the heart-shaped herb, hoping to create a new Black Panther that will defend Wakanda, but she refuses due to her belief that the Black Panther is a figure of the past. In the Atlantic Ocean, the CIA and U.S. Navy SEALs utilize a vibranium detecting machine to locate a potential vibranium deposit underwater. The expedition is attacked and killed by a group of blue-skinned, water-breathing superhumans led by Namor, with the CIA believing Wakanda to be responsible. Namor confronts Ramonda and Shuri, easily bypassing Wakanda's advanced security. Blaming Wakanda for the surface world's race to find vibranium, he gives them an ultimatum: deliver him the scientist responsible for the vibranium detecting machine, or he will attack Wakanda. Shuri and Okoye learn from CIA agent Everett Ross that the scientist in question is MIT student Riri Williams and arrive at the university to confront her. The group is pursued by the FBI and then by Namor's warriors, who defeat Okoye before taking Shuri and Williams underwater to meet Namor. Angered by Okoye's failure to protect Shuri, Ramonda strips her of her title as general of the Dora Milaje and seeks out Nakia, who has been living in Haiti since the blip. Namor shows Shuri his vibranium-rich underwater kingdom of Talakang, which he has protected for centuries from discovery by the world. Bitter at the surface world for enslaving the Maya, Namor proposes an alliance with Wakanda against the rest of the world but threatens to destroy Wakanda if they refuse. Nakia helps Shuri and Williams escape, and Namor retaliates with an attack against Wakanda, during which Ramonda drowns, saving Williams. Namor vows to return with his full army, and the citizens of Wakanda relocate to the Jabari Mountains for their safety. Meanwhile, Ross is arrested by his ex-wife, CIA Director Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, for secretly exchanging classified intelligence with the Wakandans. After Ramonda's funeral, Shuri uses a remnant of the herb that gave Namor's people their superhuman abilities to reconstruct the heart-shaped herb. She ingests it, gaining superhuman abilities and meeting Killmonger in the ancestral plane, who urges her to seek revenge. Shuri dons a new Black Panther suit and is accepted by the other Wakandan tribes as the Black Panther. Despite M'Baku's urges for peace, Shuri is determined to exact vengeance on Namor for Ramonda's death and orders an immediate counterattack on Talakang. Preparing for battle, with Ao assuming the position of general of the Dora Milaje, Shuri bestows the Midnight Angel armor upon Okoye, who in turn recruits Dora Milaje member Nakia to join her. Williams creates an Iron Man-esque powered exoskeleton to aid the Wakandans. The fight between nations in Wakanda Forever is just another expression of the battle we've seen in historical and contemporary America, in which white America blames the joblessness on Mexican immigrants while simultaneously making it increasingly difficult for Black Americans to find jobs. Black and Latino people are both victims of American agendas that work most effectively for white people, and Coogler speaks to that by presenting Wakanda and Talakang as two nations with sympathetic plights and leaders, who while fallible are advocates for their people. While there is the potential for allyship, and well-intentioned white liberalism as symbolized by Everett Ross, Martin Freeman, the U.S. is often incapable of manifesting empathy or revolution for two marginalized groups. Instead, it trades conversations about Mexicans being kept in cages and ICE for focus on Black Lives Matter and police brutality, while solving neither. Rarely, if ever, can white liberalism spread its attention between two or more affected groups, which we see in Ross aiding the Wakandans but throwing the Talakans to the wolves that are American intelligence, despite the US being the ones who struck first. Marginalized people fighting to be heard, fighting for their rights too often creates a scenario in which the oppressed are forced to fight each other for the opportunity to be given validation. It is that inherently messy situation we see reflected in Wakanda Forever's central battle. Using a seafaring vessel, the Wakandans lure Namor and his warriors to the surface as a battle ensues. Shuri traps Namor in a fighter aircraft, intending to dry him out and weaken him. The pair crashes on a desert beach and fight. Shuri gains the upper hand, but realizes the similarities between their paths and implores Namor to yield, offering him a peaceful alliance. Namor accepts, and the battle ends. Namor's cousin, Namora, is upset at Namor's surrender, but he assures her that the new alliance will allow them to conquer the surface world one day. Williams returns to MIT, leaving her suit behind, while Okoye rescues Ross from captivity. Shuri plants more heart-shaped herbs to ensure the future of the Black Panther mantle. In Shuri's absence, M'Baku steps forward to challenge for the throne. Shuri visits Nakia in Haiti, where she burns her funeral ceremonial robe in accordance with Ramonda's wishes, allowing herself to finally grieve T'Challa. Killmonger's plan in the first Black Panther, in which he sought to use Wakandan tech to wipe out the rest of the world's colonizers, would have prevented this battle. It would have been morally wrong, of course, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't have been effective. But his solution would end the crusade of the Black Panther, preventing the longevity found in the impossible battle for a united world. Although some fans speculated and even desired Killmonger to return to the realm of the living and take up the mantle of Black Panther, his agenda, while perhaps the most logical and realistic means to end the threat against oppressed people, is the antithesis of superheroism that ultimately separates superhero from soldier. Namor's plan is not so different, but he strikes with the confidence of being seen as a god, only concerned for his people and not the people who also share his skin tone as Killmonger did. It's easy for Shuri, Letitia Wright, to reject Namor's invitation of godhood, even after feeling betrayed by her own god, Best. But, the all-too-human shadow of Killmonger haunts Shuri's journey to lead as either queen and superhero or queen and soldier. She chooses superhero, sparing Namor's life and striking an uneasy alliance that promises further battles ahead and that the crusade of the Black Panther will continue, running parallel to our own real-world battles. At the end of Wakanda Forever, Coogler sets up the future by once again reflecting on the past in the film's mid-credits scene, in which Nakia, at her home in Haiti, reveals to Shuri that she and T'Challa have a son whose Wakandan name is T'Challa and whose Haitian name is Toussaint. In a mid-credits scene, Shuri learns that Nakia and T'Challa had a son named Toussaint, whom Nakia has been raising in secret. Toussaint reveals his Wakandan name is T'Challa. Obviously, the child's name being T'Challa is the biggest talking point among fans. But perhaps more significant is the name Toussaint, an unmistakable reference to Toussaint Louverture, a Haitian general who led the Haitian Revolution against the French. The revelation of the future king's name not only reframes the initial strike by France at the beginning of the film but also speaks to the importance of him being raised away from the pressures of the throne and in Haiti, where he can grow up to see the direct effects of colonialism that are still very much prevalent in the country. It is a reminder that these superheroes and their potential successors are not gods living above the world, but within it and subject to the same injustices. Wakanda Forever is a reaffirmation that the living are not yet done with the past, and the cycle of oppression and revolution continues because it is the way of our world, and thus the way of our superheroes don't solve our problems, but who illuminate the battles behind and ahead of us. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is all about endings and new beginnings. Grief is the central element of a movie that mourns the loss of star Chadwick Boseman, a real-life tragedy that makes the blockbuster action film the most downbeat Marvel adventure yet. But the ending, in which Shuri faces her grief for her lost brother T'Challa, brings hope of renewal. Wakanda Forever is in theaters now, so let's pick apart that emotional ending and speculate about what's next for Black Panther's corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spoilers, obs? Directed by Ryan Coogler, the new Marvel film features two nations brought to the brink of war despite their many similarities. Both Wakanda and the undersea kingdom of Talakang possess the powerful and rare metal vibranium, and their people have kept themselves hidden from covetous rival nations. Now that Wakanda is exposed to the world, Talakang's charismatic ruler Namor, Tenoch Huerta, fears his watery kingdom will also be threatened by the superpowers of the